One of my favorites, Tesla, is showing some bullish signs. Is it about to shoot up? Sure looks like it. I'll show you what I see. Hi, this is Tim from TradingStrategyGuides.com. Summer weather is starting to descend upon us here in North Texas. We're expecting the high 80s on Friday this week. That's over 30 for you in the Celsius portions of the world, which I gather is everywhere but the U.S. The older I get, the less I like the cold, but Texas summers are sometimes a little bit much for me. But it is what it is, and it'll let up just about the time college football kicks in. If college football kicks in this year, who knows? Anyway, today's trade pick is an ascending triangle on one of my favorite stocks, Tesla. We'll get to that in a few minutes, but first I'll update you on the active trades, and then later on I've got a brand new trading maxim for you. It's the weekend, baby. Did I say baby? I gotta stop that stuff. Remember to click the subscribe button and hit that bell so you won't miss any of these great trade setups. Let's take a look at the active trades. Well, McDonald's second position popped right up here and almost hit the break-even stop on Thursday, but it didn't trigger the stop, so I'm still in this and hoping it'll drop back down. US dollar Mexican peso triggered a sell right here on Monday, hit the first target right here on Wednesday. So that was nice. I like it when it moves fast. I closed half of this for profit, set the stop to break even on the remainder. We'll now wait for this parabolic SAR up here to come down below the break even to start trailing our stops. As I mentioned on Monday's video, I bought a full-size position right here at 96.6725. My stop loss was 88.0367. My first target 10,242.97, and then this thing dropped right down here and hit the stop on Thursday. I don't see another way to get back into this trade, so I'm going to say that I'm done with Bitcoin for now. Here's the Australian dollar Japanese yen. I sold this thing half size last Friday on the candle close below the 20 EMA. Half size because it was only 87% of the average volume. Then it closed Monday up here above the 20, so I took the loss right there. Now these moving averages are just getting too close together, and they're moving even closer, so I'm calling this setup done for now. So here's Kraft Heinz, and it went about halfway or a little further toward our target. Then it popped up right here on news that Bank of America upgraded them to a buy rating. Not much you can do about unexpected news. So I'm done with KHC for right now. Silver blew out this new descending triangle that I showed you a few weeks ago. I was holding to see if it might stop right here at a range, but it didn't. So I'm going to call this thing a blown setup now. No trades. As you know, I only take a sell signal from a descending triangle pattern. So done with silver for right now. And lastly, let's take a look at the US dollar Swiss franc setup I gave you last Friday. This dashed line right here was the original setup, and we had a close below that right here on Wednesday, but it was on insufficient volume. And of course I recommend standing aside if there's less than 75% of the average volume, but the volume and the volatility continue to decline here, so I redrew this triangle to include those candles. Let me clear this up a little so you can see. I included these candles in the new triangle, so we'll keep looking for a close above to buy or a close below the triangle to sell this. And that's it for the active trades. Let's take a look at today's pick. You may have heard me say that Elon Musk is one of my favorite people. He's the head of Tesla and SpaceX. I'm especially interested in SpaceX's Starlink project. SpaceX is in the process of launching a low Earth orbit internet satellite constellation called Starlink that could eventually number in the tens of thousands of satellites. That could potentially bring low latency broadband internet to every corner of the globe. And the other thing that interests me is Tesla's development of battery technology. Obviously an offshoot of the development of electric cars, They've improved battery design dramatically in the last few years. With that said, I can't let my love of all things Tesla affect my trading decisions where Tesla is concerned. So, strictly by the rules, just like any other trade here. This is a daily chart of Tesla with a small ascending triangle. An ascending triangle consists of a strong resistance level, like this one here at 835.50, with several historical touches or approaches of the line, and a series of higher lows as fewer and fewer traders are thinking about taking this short. Each time the price gets back up to the resistance level, it chips away at the sell orders until it finally breaks through. It should break out of the pattern with strong momentum, and a good consolidation pattern like this should be accompanied by a decline in volume and volatility like you see here. I measure the volatility using the average true range, or ATR, which shows the average length of the last 14 candles. And here's the trade plan. We want to buy a daily candle close above the triangle or above 835.50. On the breaking candle, to enter a full-size position, we want to see the volume bar here reach up to the volume average. If it doesn't quite reach the average but does reach 75% of the average, I will open a half-size position to reduce risk. You can calculate the percentage by dividing this volume number here by this volume average, and you should get 0.75. If you don't get at least 0.75, stand aside on the trade. The stop loss is 1.5 times the ATR, and the first target is 1 times the ATR. So let's say this thing breaks up to here and closes right here, just ahead of the close, 10 or 15 minutes before the close. You will buy right there, and on that day you'll look down here at the ATR, multiply that by 1.5 times, measure that distance behind your entry down here, and that's your stop loss, and then measure 1 ATR above your entry, and that'll be your first target. If after entering the trade you get a candle close back inside the triangle or back below 835.50, we'll take the loss right then and not wait for it to hit the stop loss. Our intention is that a breakout above the triangle should be explosive and hit our target fairly quickly. If the momentum goes away, we want to shut the trade down without taking a full stop if possible. When the price hits our first target, we will close half the position for profit and set the stop loss to break even on the remainder. We will then follow stops as price moves in our direction until the market takes us out. Now, these two rules are the very definition of cutting your losses and letting your winners run. Typically, I do this using 2 positions. The first position has a stop loss and a take profit. That position will close automatically when the first target is hit. The second position will only have a stop loss, and that's the position that will be allowed to run. When the first target is hit, we will have to manually move our stop loss up to break even on the second position. I will only risk about 2% of my account on each trade. And that's today's setup on Tesla. Remember, my intent here is to tell you how I manage these trades. If you've already got a good trade management plan, use it. Things that work for me may not work for you. You have to understand your own mind to find the best strategies for your trading. And speaking of understanding your own mind, that's my intent for the trading maxims. The maxims help me control my emotional impulses and keep me on the straight and narrow path. A maxim is a general truth, fundamental principle, rule of conduct, or a proverbial saying. The purpose of my maxims is to motivate me to discipline in trading as well as other areas of my life. I suggest you start your own list of maxims, things that you can say to yourself while you're trading or doing life to make sure you always do the right thing. Feel free to borrow from my list. And today, I've got a brand new trading maxim for you. Tim's trading maxim number 76. A man may make mistakes, but he isn't a failure until he starts blaming someone else. That's a quote from John Wooden. John Wooden was an American basketball player and coach who won 10 NCAA national championships in a 12-year period as head coach at UCLA, including a record 7 in a row. This is one of my favorite topics, blame shifting. I have certain acquaintances that won't claim responsibility for mistakes, even if there was a video of them performing the mistakes. I feel sad for them. They spend more time coming up with reasons why they're right instead of just owning the mistake and moving on. Okay, I'm not perfect. I've done my share of blame shifting in my lifetime. But I find that acknowledging my error and doing something to correct it or to alleviate it in the future, or both, is way more productive. In terms of trading, the only place to shift the blame for a bad trade is the market. And if you've been here for more than 30 seconds, you've heard me say that the market is always right. And if you don't agree with the market, then you're wrong. And there's no one to blame but yourself. So the next time you make a mistake, go out of your way to own your mistake. Apologize to those who've been wronged by your mistake, and set plans in motion to be sure you don't make that mistake again. People will begin to see that you're a person of integrity, and you'll be a bigger person for it. Remember our Tesla trade plan here. We're going to buy a daily candle close above the triangle or above 835.50. If the volume is not quite average, go half size as long as it's at least 75% of the average. Your stop loss is 1.5 times the ATR, and your first target is 1 times the ATR. And remember to click the link below to the trade management video for more details. And don't forget to sign up for my free Trading Picks email list to be sure you don't miss any of these great picks. I send out about 2 or 3 trading picks a week from all different markets, and you'll get to see them first. And the best thing is, it's free. I'll put a link below this video. Be sure to come back to Trading Strategy Guide's YouTube channel every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time for my new videos. Don't hesitate to ask any questions you may have. I'll either answer your question right in the comments or in a training video or both. And remember, the only stupid question is the unasked one. Be sure you don't miss the next installment of the Trading Education series next Wednesday when I'll discuss what is a currency pair. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up below. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday.